welcome to ERI Seismic Design Team SolidWorks tutorial. I will be your guide. My name is Steven, CE Major, class of 2019, former president, design captain for ERI. So just want to get started with SolidWorks. So you're going to open up your program. SolidWorks 2018, 2019 is what I'm running with. The current setup of the computer I'm using has 16 gigabyte RAM, 3.2 gigahertz. I believe it's a SSD 256 gigabytes. And the video card I can't recall, but let's just get started with the model. We just opened up SolidWorks here. You have the option of selecting a part in an assembly or a drawing. One thing to know for SolidWorks is you can have two options. You either make a part or an assembly. Part, you basically make every part of your model. And then an assembly is when you can put these 3D parts together so you can have an idea as to how they're working together. And that's for the assembly. And then drawings, it's separate because once you make your part, your assembly, once you make your part, you put them together, you make your assembly. And once you have assembly, you have to make your details and your drawings. That's where you go to drawings, you can make your callouts. If you were to close out, you can open through here, or select this option tab, or you can just close out here. When you start off, you're gonna have this panel on the right side. You can expand it. You can do a variety of things right here, selecting tools. I really don't select any of this until I use the drawings option. Go over that later. Go to the top left. You'll have your panel. You have your files. You can either make a new one. You can open one. So right now we're gonna go with open. If you were to make a new one, you're gonna have this option. You select your part, assembly, or drawing. You can go that way. But one thing I've done is you're gonna have templates so that you can use going forward. The reason I use these templates is because it keeps track of my units and my settings that I prefer. It's going to be located in the folder sent to you guys. It's going to be labeled either, well, let's go ahead and open those right now. We're going to have open. The files I'm referring to are these right here, assembly, ASM, and part. These are the templates. These right here is just basically the units, inches and inches, Nancy and Nancy. So we're going to open up a part. So for starting off, I just want to let you guys know that when you do part, the extension is going to be PRDOT. So that's what you want to do. All right, let me just open it. I'm going to double click. It's going to open it up. And so there you go. This is your SolidWorks template. Before we do anything, I just want to start off by creating since this is a template, you want to save this and under a new name. So what you do is you're going to save it as intro. Let's save it as intro. And now we're going to click as save as type because this is a template. You want to save it differently. You have all of these options. You're going to go scroll up and you're going to save it as part. That way SolidWorks will recognize it for the part that it is. We're going to save it as intro and save. This way we're just going to play with it as I introduce you to the SolidWorks tab. Okay, so let's go ahead and go with features. I'm going to start off with Sketch. I'm going to select right here on the left panel. You're going to have the history of actions. I've really never used this. I've only really messed with material where you can change the material of what you're messing with. Edit material. These are the planes because this is going to be in a 3D view. On the bottom left, you're going to have your coordinates, Z, X, and Y. And then on the bottom right, you're going to have the units you are in, inches, pounds, and seconds. The template I gave you is in inches, so this will always match. And then you have right here the options I mentioned earlier. On the top, you can mess with different variety of things. You have section view. You have the views you have right here. You can hide particular parts of your drawing. And then if you go to the ribbon, you have the option of sketching. So let's go ahead and sketch. Preferably I like to sketch on the top plane. The top plane we're going to select. I'm going to select it. You can click on this and sketch, or you can also right click and press that button as well. You're going to sketch and it's going to send you to the top plane and it's going to give you the grid system. If we were to just draw a line, let's go ahead and let's just draw a rectangle. I'm going to select right here the origin. So by selecting the origin, I am just going to draw a rectangle and bring it down. All right. So you're going to see a difference in lines. So right here we have You're gonna have two different colors. The left side of my rectangle and the bottom side are black. This is because I drew these lines in correlation to this origin. The important part of one thing to know with SolidWorks is that because you can do simulations and analysis, everything you draw needs to have a dimension or needs to be related somehow. So you know this if you were to go to the bottom right over here, to the bottom right over here, it's going to say underdefined. The reason it's underdefined is because this line and the line on the right of the rectangle, the line on top, are not defined, meaning that SolidWorks doesn't know where these are in correlation to the coordinates of the origin. So what you have to do is you dimension them. And once you dimension them, let's say it's 4.456. This is the actual length from based off the drawing, based off the what I just freehanded. So once the computer knows, once SolidWorks knows the lengths of it, it's gonna change it black. And in doing that, you're gonna see down here, this option bottom right actually changed to fully defined. So now it recognizes what this shape is. And if you were to do an analysis on it, it's gonna be able to give you actual tangible values, numerical values, because it knows the distances and lengths of this. So let's just go ahead and change this to, just for sakes, you can just click on the option, click on the dimension, you can click on it, and let's go with 4. I'm gonna type in 4. It's in inches, so it's gonna turn it into 4 inches, and there it is. There's my shape. A way of messing with the views of what you're drawing is you can simply press Control 1. You can press Control, and if you were to press while pressing Control, if you were to press 1, it's going to give you a view, 2, a different view, 3, a different view, 4, a different view. The only ones I do know is 5 is for top view, and 7 is for isometric view. For now, let's go back to Control 5, and I will do that. In doing so, I just want to highlight what it is you just did. Oh, my bad. I'm going to go back to the sketch. The way you go back to the sketch is basically right-click, edit sketch. There's a sketch. I want to add a feature. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to extrude this. There it is. I just simply pressed extrude. I went to the features option, pressed extrude, and now I'm just going to select how much do I want this to come out. You can just select blind, which just means it's going to blindly go in that direction. And you can switch the direction of your extrusion by just pressing this little tab on the bottom left right here. Extrude up or down. You see the arrow changes. So let's just say this is going to be 1-inch extrusion. Okay, and there's a shape. I'm going to press the check mark, and there it is. Now you have a 3D view of this block. If I press Control 7, there's the isometric view. Scrolling now with the mouse. If I were to center click the mouse, it's going to rotate around the center of it. I'm going to do Control 7, but if you were to press Control and the center click, you can just move it side, left, and right. I'm pressing Control and the center of the mouse. That'll do that. Go back to Control 7. Now there's the shape, it's called boss extrusion. So I'm just going to click it. You can edit this feature. Like say you didn't like this dimension, you can simply go back. You know what? I didn't want it to be 2 inches high. I want it to be 2 inches. Simply change that. There it is. Now I want to go into, let's change the material of this. So right here, I'm clicking on this option. I'm going to right click, edit material. Right here, you have like some of the go-to options, but in our case, we're not going to use that. We're going to change it to balsa wood. So let's go with edit material. And these are all of the options. You have steel. You can put a variety of shapes in here. So let's go with, click this. I'm going to go with woods because that's where balsa wood is at. And it'll actually give you the properties for the balsa wood. You want to make sure this is in English and IPS. Sometimes it could be in SI. Just make sure it's inches and pounds. And then here are some values that you might want to use. Young's modulus, elastic modulus, it's right here. So we want to go with balsa, and let me send this to the left. So you can see as I press apply, it's actually going to change the color of my material. Now it's recognizing it as balsa wood. After you press apply, you can simply close. Remember to press Control S or save your file. Simply by going save, Control S, save. You're going to see it every time you do something, or if you change something, like say I just go back by pressing Control Z, you're going to see an asterisk, meaning you haven't saved. So yeah, I'm just going to quickly put that back to the material because I pressed Control Z, so my ball solid went away. So I'm going to apply there. Let's look at this, Control S, it's saved, and there's your material. All right, there's your introduction to SOLIDWORKS.